Welcome back. In this lectures, we are going to design a deadbeat controller. So before proceeding to the uh, these lectures, in previous lectures, we already discussed the PID controller. What are its merits? Then after that, we are converting the continuous PID controller into the discrete PID controllers. And also we have to consider the Ziegler-Nicholas tuning methods to tune the PID controllers, gains and time constant. Then after that, we also discuss the examples which is related to the Ziegler-Nicholas tuning algorithms. So in these lectures, we are just focus on the design of the deadbeat or minimal prototype controllers. So here we are just going to consider the design perspective as well as we have to solve few examples related to the deadbeat controllers. So in this circuit where you know that this is the diagram. So in this diagram there is a discrete input. So this discrete input converted into the continuous signals that is represented by C star of S. So this whole circuit can be this whole circuit transfer function can be represented in the form of the H of S. Then after that we have to apply the process or plant or equipment. So this continuous output of this whole circuit to the process. So here we are getting the A output Y of S. So this is also continuous signal. Then after that we can apply the sampling theorems and convert to the into discrete form. So we are just going to combine these a complete process of this. So here you can see so here we are only going to develop a relation between output versus input. So consider the impulse input C star of S is equal to 1. So that is impulse input. So here we are getting the same. Then what is the output? So output, you know that this process plant have the transfer function GP. So GP of S into S of S, both are the in cascade natures, means series, so you have to multiply. So here we have to multiply these terms and multiply by with the input. As you know that we are deriving that this output in presence of the impulse input. So this is nothing but we are getting the H of S into GP of S. Then we are taking the Z inverse, because here we are again converting into the discrete form. So what is the discrete output? So discrete output we can calculate using the Z transform. So here Z means nothing but this is the Z transform. Z is equal to this is the Z transform. So here we are applying the Z transform. So we are getting transform. So this is the equivalent output. Equivalent output is multiplication of the process plant transfer function and whole circuit transfer function. So here we have to take it H of S into GP of S. So we are taking the Z transform. So we are putting the, so you are getting the H of S into GP of S. So this Z transform function can be represented in the form of H GP of Z. So this is the YZ output of the system in discrete domain. This is the Y of Z. So when we are getting any plant, and before the plant there is a whole circuit, so we can write overall output of the system in this form, a discrete form. In continuous domain it is the product of this one, and in discrete domain it is the combination of HGP of Z. So HGP of Z is called impulse transfer function. So since it represents the Z transform of the pulse, or you can say impulse inputs in the presence of the impulse input, so that is called pulse transfer functions. So in this way we are getting this one. This is the role of the sample and hold circuit in the continuous process. Now come to the properties of pulse transfer function. So you know that this is the first property. So here if you are getting the G1 and G2 in continuous domain, in continuous frequency domain, both are then cascade domain, or they are connected in series or cascade nature. So we are simply multiplying. So this is not equal to the multiplication, taking the Z inverse of G1 and multiplication of Z inverse of G2. So that is not equal to the overall product of this one. So that's why we can write this one G1 and G2 of Z. So these are the two not equal. So that's why when we are taking the sample hold circuit into G, so of S, so this one when we are taking the Z transform of this product circuit, product transfer function, so we can write H GP G of Z. If taking the separate Z transform of H and G, so we cannot get the same. So that's why using this property they have written as discussed in the previous slides. So an impulse input is converted into a pulse input by direct first order hold circuit. Hence HGZ is a pulse response of the GS sample at Z interval of the T, where T is the sampling time and Z is interval. So between they are giving the intervals. So we are just sampling. So this is the meaning of H of Z. So here we are sampling, taking the as a input, as a impulse signal, and we are getting the pulse response of the G of S, and that is represented in discrete domain Hg of Z. The pulse transfer function of two elements in series can be combined if there is a sample and hold in between. So can be combined if there is a hold or sample. So means in this circuit there is a sample and hold in between. So means G1 and G2 have the a hold and sample circuits. So we can combine and we can take the different. When we are taking that sample, so this one is we are getting the A1 circuit, and this one is combined with this circuit, so we are getting overall. So here C of Z by C1 of Z is equal to G3 of Z, and similarly for the C2 by C1, so we are getting G1. C2 by C1 we are getting the G1, and C3 by C1 we can combine G3. So G3 is nothing but its product of the G1Z into G2Z, and similarly C3 by C2 we are getting G2. So in this way, but in this circuit, in this case, in previous circuit, hold and process, there is no sample and hold circuits. So we have to combine these two. Now come to the closed loop system. So here just we are considering a block diagram. So here you can see that this is the continuous input at this point. Then we have to apply a sample circuit. Then we have to a summing point. Then we are calculating a DZ. DZ is the nothing but is a controller. Then sample, then hold, then process. Then there is a summing point. Here we are adding the a disturbance and system plant output Y1, and we are getting the equivalent output Y2. And in outputs, because this input side is the discrete nature, so we have to apply here the again sampler circuit at the feedback signal. When we are combining this one, so this one means here we are getting the continuous signal. This is the continuous signal, CT signal, and this is the DT signal. Here DT signal. So DT signal means at this point. So this one is the CT signal. So here you can see the output can be written as a Z transform of the Y1 plus Y2. Y1 is this one, process output, and this is the disturbance. So we can write in this form Z Y1 of S into Z Y2 of S, because the both of the signals are different. So here they are not connected in cascade nature. So we can separate this one, the Z transform of Y1s plus Z transform of Y2s, where Y1 of S can be written, because Y1 of S, as in previous discussed, this is the HPZ e to power means E cap Z. This is the E cap Z. This is the input. So input we can write complete the transfer function HPZ e to power Z and Y 2 cap Z. So here we can also write, because you can see the E cap Z is equal to nothing but E to power Z. So here we can put here, so HPZ into DZ by into EZ plus Y2Z. So this is the, again we can write, we can convert using this term. This is the input, this one is input, this is the output for this block. So we can put here and we are getting. Then after that we can take a common. So here E cap Z we can write YSPZ minus Y cap Z. So here they have written. So HPZ into DZ whole multiplied by YSPZ minus Y cap Z plus YZ. So we want to calculate the transfer function Y cap Z. So Y cap Z we can put in this equation. So here we are getting the Y cap Z nothing but equal to HPZ DZ YSPZ. So this is, they have given YSPZ and divided by 1 plus HPZ DZ after the simplification. So we are getting plus Y2Z divided by 1 plus HPZ. So we can simplify and solve for the Y cap Z. So we are getting that this is the A output of the whole plant. So this is the due to the disturbance. This one is the due to disturbance we are getting, and this one is the due to the plant or process. So in this way we can get the overall transfer function of the system. So here you can see the roots of the this plant is this one. So we can find a characteristic equation, that is 1 plus H GP of Z into DZ is equal to 0. This is the correct equation. And based on these roots or pole equations, we can determine the stability of this closed loop system. So note similarity to continuous system. So this is nothing but is similar to the continuous system. So here you can see in another case. So in place of this one we are getting the A feedback gain, and this place this is the G. So that is similar to the continuous system. So using this character equation we can analyze the stability of this system on Z plane. Now come to the deadbeat or minimal prototype controller. So here this controller is designed such that the output sample values no error at the first sampling following a set point change. Means we have to design a control law in such a way that output first sampling we are not getting any output. There is a 0 errors. So suppose, so in this previous case we are just putting the disturbance as a 0. So final equation we are getting this equation. So in this equation you know that there is no disturbance part, only output is there. So here we let this YSP cap, this is the A input. So this input signal we are taking the step change. So you have no the step change Z transform 1 by 1 minus Z inverse. So this is the put. So we are putting in this equation, and you know that the output YT goes to 1 after one sampling. After one sampling it goes to the 1. So means there is a delay. So 1 unit delay we can add in the input Z to power minus 1. So means between one first in sample interval system is completely dead. There is no response. So that's why we are getting the dead beat or minimal prototype controller. So based on this value, if we are putting the Z to power minus 2, Z to power minus 3, so we are inherently we are introducing or giving a system delay. So output will respond, or output will give the after this delay system response. So here we in presence of, so here YSP we are taking the step change, and output you know that 1 unit delay. So here we are using the step, so output system is also following the step signal. So we are to step delaying, so output will start at this position. So here we are given the y cap is equal to z inverse by 1 minus z inverse. So in that bit we already know the input and also output. So we are apply the input and output, we can determine the controller's performance. So dz. So here we are just focus on the calculation of dz. Once we are calculated the dz, we can put and apply the, so this system or this dead bit controller give the with the same desired characteristics. So solve, so using this equation, step input spz and yz we can put in this equation. We can solve for the dz. So solve for the dz, we are getting in this nature. So you know that this is the response. So here the time, and here this in continuous domain they have given. This is the ideal case. When we are applying the step, we are getting the ideal case. This one, and this is the actual case. There is a oscillating. So we will just going to derive few examples. So here you know that the same process we can apply in the MATLAB. So here we are getting the dz value, this one. So in presence of YSP is equal to 1 by 1 minus z inverse, and yz is equal to z inverse by 1 by z. And here h of z is equal to, we are considering the same. So here h g of s is equal to, we are considering s plus 1. So means here first order transfer function we are considered, and here zero order circuit we are concerned. So we have to calculate h gp of z. So we already calculated the gp of s, so as the previous. So we have to put and calculate the g of z. So here we are getting this formula and put here and sample. So you can see that here we are introduces 1 unit delay. So output is also going to a 0, then it will start to reach again further 1 unit. So this is the output of this system. So you can see that in between this duration, this plant is completely dead due to the controller actions. So controller, they are provide a particular band. So system output will be completely 0 in this allotted band by the controller design. So again we have to consider the second order transfer function. Second order functions, we are calculated the HGP of Z and putting, and we are calculating the GZ. We are getting this form when we are taking the step input and we are applying the, so you are getting the a continuous domain. They have given the second order, so you are getting this nature. So this is the form of this one. So you know that this is the a continuous, a discrete domain, this one. So here we are getting the continuous output. So here between one step is the dead. So here we are considering the sampling time 10 seconds. Similarly for the third order transfer function. Third order transfer function, we are again getting the same response with a large oscillations. So we have to design the depth. So here 1 unit, because each example means first order, second order and third order, we are considering the 1 unit delay. One sample instant is as a delay. So here we are getting the same delay. So in this way we can increase or decrease the dead bit response of the system based on the discrete filter or discrete controller of dz. So this is the, we have already discussed the first order, second order and third order. So also design the dead bit controller of, it is also called a minimum prototype controller, and it's analyze the closed loop stability, that is the similar to the as a continuous control system, and also discuss the few examples.